currently you've got media finances and in turn power is a bit on the wane. I think media companies are making less money from traditional media. There's a big decline in their financial clout, and then in turn their power and the power of the journalists I think they've got. And journalists are having to rely a lot more on PR people. I think it's always gone in waves over the years, but I think that's certainly the case now. When it comes to celebrities, I think journalists are bending over a bit more backwards, a bit more easily to get access. And we're finding it a lot more easily, if I look over the years, the commercial reasons why we're signing up a celebrity or a personality to endorse something are credited now very, very easily. I remember in days gone by, you kind of line up a celebrity to endorse something for you. You'd wait to see it appear in print, and you'd be praying that there was a credit there for the brand that had actually your client had paid for it. Now it's very easy, and you get kind of box out of messaging that you want, and it's sort of it gets easier. I've even kind of had a notice, I think, had a look, and even the traditional survey story, which personally I hate, and is the we all look at as being pretty much the lowest thing that you can really do in PR. But even those, the brands that are behind those surveys are getting credited more and more and more, because that's actual content for the magazine. So I think that's quite a big thing, is that as media finances have declined, the rise in the power of PR, I think, has increased a bit more. I think we've seen the democratisation of the media and the rise of what I like to call sort of soft journalism. We get lots of requests each week, so I'm sure everyone else does in agencies, from loads of bloggers to be supplied with stuff from our clients in return for positive editorial. It's pretty brazenly made, these approaches. Other times it's subtle, but still quite clear. There's a proper trade-off, and these bloggers have sort of become PR people. We'll even get copy approval from them, as I'm sure you do in many cases as well. And their influence is growing, and they're becoming very valuable for us PRs. So it's easier, I think, to get stuff in the media for your client than it's ever been before, whether that be traditional or social. Journalists are becoming slaves to the algorithm, and these days, as we know, everything is trackable, everything is measurable, and it's a sort of bit of debate between popular journalism versus good, call it old-fashioned journalism. There was a story I was reading the other day about Goodkind Media, a big US-based media company. They pay bonuses to their journalists based on the popularity of their stories, not on the quality of their stories. Got a quote here from Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, just to frame it and I suppose maybe set the debate going a bit. And this was his definition of the press, I guess the Flacks in this case, the hacks in this place. In this case, the press is a gang of cruel faggots. Journalism is not a profession or a trade. It's a cheap catch-all for fuck-offs and misfits, a false doorway to the backside of life, a filthy, piss-ridden little hole nailed off by the building inspector, but just deep enough for a wino to curl up from the sidewalk and masturbate like a chimp in a zoo cage. I didn't want to start the aggression going tonight on the hacks versus Flacks, but again, it maybe puts it into some context for the rest of the evening. The unskilled PR people tend to give the whole industry a bad name, and when I've done these hacks versus Flacks debate, I did one about 6-7 years ago. I remember the PR people got absolutely crucified by the journalists for that sort of stereotype. The kind of, normally a female is the stereotype figure, calls whatever, checking up, have they got a press release, they get the journalist's name a bit wrong, and they say their first name wrong, and that's the stereotype, if you like, for PR people. I personally think that relationship has changed quite a lot over the last few years, as has the image of these journalists as being the kind of big bad, sort of holier, almost, we put them on a pedestal. It's kind of, journalists have gone in my mind, bearing in mind I love my football, from sort of the Jose Mourinhos of this world to the Tony Pulises of this world, and that you still like them and respect them, but they're not right up there and, kind of gods, if you like, that you're a bit afraid of.
Why is that?
I just think I think it's just this day and age. I think as again, I've been in the industry a bit, but
it's a cultural thing. We're
less
less
people come into the industry. There's more respect. There's I guess a bit more recognition of each other's skills, what they bring to the party, and we've been talking about how the dynamic's changing. Then that's changed with it as well. The people that are getting into that. Today, maybe with the rise of technology, what's happened is we've kind of given up that sort of knowledge of the media in terms of sort of a love of a database to market from.